Hi guys, Roger on Honeybee Ridge. This video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit of a rant. I apologize for it now, but I got something just burning my craw. So a lot of you know that during the day I'm a network administrator and a tech guy. At night I have a really cool job where I sell guns. Now in New York State, New York is not a gun-friendly place as far as the political climate goes. I'm sure most of you know that, but anyways, we'll come back around to that. In being an FFL, I have to keep a thing that's called a bound book. So basically that's a record of every firearm transaction, every gun that comes in, every gun that goes out. A lot of guys do that on paper, like this. This is the way I used to do it. So, all my guns coming in, all my guns going out, all got handwritten into my book. Well, when I started getting a little busier, I decided I was going to go with a software company that does this. I use FFL Boss. There's a lot of them out there that do this. So basically, this is a recording of all firearm transactions, guns coming in, guns going out. So when I have to add what's called let's do an acquisition here. When I have to add an acquisition, that's basically adding a firearm to my acquisition book, saying that I received it. So all this information is all recorded in this big database in this program. So, I select the dealer that it comes from. I go through and I have to select the firearm type. In this case, let's do a pistol. Pick manufacturer. All this super easy to enter this in. You can start typing and it'll suggest all that stuff. Fantastic. A lot of this information, serial number, model number, caliber, all that stuff, is either on the paperwork or on the box that the gun comes in. So I can scan a lot of this electronically. I have a little hand scanner that just go through and scan it. I still have to verify it physically on the gun, but at least I don't have to hand type a lot of this information in. So it really speeds things up. I'm only open 2 hours a night, and I work all day long. So, I'm trying to cut down on the amount of time that some of this stuff takes. But anyways, on to my rant. New York State is so entirely stupid. What they're doing to gun dealers is ridiculous. But a couple decades ago, they came out with this form, and they haven't really changed it since. This is a record of receipt or delivery of firearms for every transaction involving a pistol or firearm of a size which may be concealed upon the person must be entered in this record book. So this record book is carbon copy, ridiculous, handwritten. You got to handwrite everything in there, all the data for the firearms for every transaction, every handgun transaction coming in and going out. Oh, and by the way, when you're all done, you have to rip this page out, mail the white copy to New York State Police. So, absolutely ridiculous. But being a tech guy, I already have all this information in my acquisition and disposition in my bound book. So what I do is I can export all this information into an Excel file, and then I paid a developer from Sri Lanka to create this app for me. Now this app is it's by far not perfect, but it's starting to get the job done. I'll have to go in and edit quite a bit of this. I already had to fix a lot of the code, but he got me, at least started on this. So basically I take that Excel file and I upload it into this app, and then I can view, look at this, that form looks just like New York State's form. Same thing, except now all this information is automatically populated. Now, not everything is in my acquisition and disposition book, so I can go through and edit the fields that aren't in my book or correct any mistakes that are in here. Go through, it's a lot easier to go through this and type all this stuff in than to have to handwrite it all in. But, there's a completed form. Then what I can do, I hit the save button, and this saves it as a PDF. It automatically suggests the name including the serial number here in the name, so it makes it really easy for me to find. Then what I do, this is just a little bit of housekeeping for me. I do this particular transaction was going outbound, so I do a -O at the end of it. That signifies to me that this was an outbound transaction, so I can keep my P12, they call this a P12 form. I can keep my P12 form separated between inbound and outbound. Also, along with this, I can print. So look at that. This form looks exactly like the form in the book. Now I can print this, and I have to print 2 copies for every one of them because I have to keep a paper copy, and I have to mail a paper copy to New York State Police. I also have to cut it out because it has to be exactly this size. It can't be larger or smaller than this size. It has to be that size. Then I snail mail it to New York State Police. But that's my little rant here, how ridiculous New York is. This is what they're trying to do. You know, they hate gun dealers because we sell people guns. We're taking peasants and turning them into citizens, and New York State doesn't like that. Not in the Queen State. So this was well worth it. It cost me $150 to pay this guy from Sri Lanka to write this app. It's hosted right on my web server. I have to have a web server here because I have to have a camera server because New York State requires me to keep 2 years worth of video surveillance data. Absolutely ridiculous. But this is what the state is doing to us. They're trying to make it difficult for dealers to stay in business and get us to shut down, close our doors, and go move someplace else so they can have fun and games all by themselves without any guns. Anyway, so that's my little rant for today. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.